right, everybody, welcome to the Wine Stuff and Wine podcast. I am Andrew Perry, Jesse McDonald, Evan McDonald, and we're your hosts of the podcast. And today we've got a very, very special guest. It's where I actually had my birthday dinner. Brett and Ryan from Ruffino's. Thank you very much for joining us. I appreciate your time today.
Cool. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, I could smell you've brought us some treats too.
Yeah, this is awesome. Yeah. So this is the Wine Stuff and Wine podcast where we try a local wine. We talk about it. You guys tell a story and why you chose the wine. We talk about some stuff and we have some more wine. So we're going to get right into it. You guys brought pizza. You stepped it up a notch.
Yeah.
So we might have to change the name of the show here.
Yeah. But, wine, pizza, stuff, and wine.
Yeah. Ryan Crawford, well, to start off with, we have a wine wall in here, and Ryan Crawford picked every bottle in here.
Wow.
Right? So,
try to source them and choosing sort of the best of the best and a great representation of what's sort of available down here in Niagara.
Yeah, it's awesome. And then today, you've chosen a Ravine wine. Why don't you tell us the wine you chose and why you chose it?
So Ravine Vineyard, Cabernet Franc. It's the Lana's block. So it was named after the owner's sister who recently passed away. But it's just sort of one of their sort of flagship sort of wines. I love Ravine Vineyard. Paul Harbour, one of the owners, is one of my best friends, and has been a great supporter of our restaurants. We've been a great supporter of him, and I think the collaboration that him and I have together is fantastic. I started farming with Paul, raising pigs. We thought it was going to be an easy thing. It turned out to be the hardest thing in the world. Yeah. But that sort of really got us into farming, and that sort of started our sort of journey towards Ruffino's.
That's awesome.
So thanks to Ravine Vineyard for that.
Yeah, absolutely. So what would you have to say about this wine? Because I'd like to be a wine connoisseur, but I'm not quite there. So
it's kind of the purpose of the show too.
Yeah,
we get to learn.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit. So
it's
Cab Franc.
Yeah, Cab Franc.
What should we expect?
It's just a delicious sort of berry, lots of berries on there, a bit of sort of cassis, but it's an easy drinking, well-made sort of wine. Some great oaking in it, but just sort of it's a great representation of what or how great Niagara wines are. And Cabernet Franc is one of our premium grapes that are doing really well as we sort of hone in on what Niagara does best. Cab Franc is shining and becoming the star of the show.
Fairly popular the last couple of years, eh?
Yeah.
A good food pairing wine as well.
Awesome. And so we're pairing it here with some of your pizza.
Yeah, tell us about this pizza.
So I think the wines in Niagara are great sort of pairings for most food. It's the crispness of them. This is our Ruffino pizza named after the restaurant, and you might do a short chat being a bit later. I don't know about Ruffino actually being our Italian Spinoni. So we named a restaurant after him, a pizza after him. This is sort of your meat lovers pizza, and
Italian Spinoni is a dog, by the way.
It's a dog.
That's our dog.
Yeah. And there is no dog on the pizza, but
we learned that on the Stacy episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very interesting.
So I tried a bit of the pizza there. Had a bit of wine. It's delicious.
First thoughts, hit me.
Oh, I like red in general.
Yeah.
And I feel like this one's a little bit like sweeter.
Yeah.
I think it's showing. It probably has a perception of sweetness just with that ripe berry. They're a super warm sort of vineyard site up at Ravine. And so that sweetness you're tasting is definitely the ripeness of the fruit. It's not a sweet wine, but you should get that great ripeness there. And
it's awesome. I don't like, when typically a red is a little bit drier, like especially like the full body ones. I find like I get a little bit drier, and then you can like break it up with certain foods. Where this one I feel like I don't.
We can just sit here, keep sipping, and enjoy all afternoon.
This is a sipper.
Yeah. It's and it's great. And I think their slogan is it's always sunny in St. David's. So there's so much sunshine up there, and it makes for great wines. So
yeah, that's awesome. So you touched on Ruffino's, your restaurant. Why don't you expand on that a little bit more? The concept, how you got to it, and a little bit more about you guys and how you started in Niagara-On-The-Lake.
You go for it. You start.
Well, Ruffino's was a brainchild that came into play in January of 2020. We were just looking for something crazy and fun to do that would inspire some more local traffic, as well as the tourism that was in town, is to just do something totally off the wall and different from what we were. So we ended up opening a door that never was used at the restaurant, so guests could come in a different door. We changed our phone number, and just designed the restaurant to have that kitschy Italian kind of boisterous, loud environment. And
we did drink a lot of Chianti, not great Chianti, in those fun baskets to make our candle holders. So just to give that kind of classic, kind of again kitschy Italian feel.
Yeah, and it was just so well received. It was sort of 80 to 120 people on those 2 nights. So Tuesday and Wednesday of every week we would do that. So Backhouse would transform into Ruffino's. So
so you were still running Backhouse at the time?
Backhouse 5 days a week, and then Ruffino's was the Tuesday, Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
And then when March 2020 happened, which we all remember.
Yeah.
Everyone got that nasty cough or something
yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
But the traction with Ruffino's was there for us, so we were able to go into our takeout and delivery under Ruffino's, because Backhouse style of dining wasn't really conducive to leaving the restaurant in a tasting menu in tiny boxes. So it gave us an opportunity to move forward with Ruffino's as takeout, and then it just had this traction and this, sort of new life that it was bringing into the restaurant. So we decided to dissolve Backhouse and move forward as Ruffino's full time. And it's been an incredible journey and so well received. And yeah, we couldn't be more astonished with how it was so fortuitous how it all happened. So
Yeah, like I think we've seen you guys more there, because the Backhouse is always small tasting menus, tasting plates, more of a special occasion place. I think when you guys have come in more and sort of enjoyed our pizza pasta. It's the way it's more friendly. We wanted to do that and just welcome our friends back into the place again. More locals, more sort of jovial, fun, and a bit more easygoing. And then we just sort of did that 2 days a week, and COVID just made us do it 7 days a week.
Yeah. I love it there.
Yeah, I like that. You guys really did a good job, I feel, of making it feel very European.
Yeah.
Like when we're sitting out there, I honestly feel like we're in Europe at a restaurant. I mean, we brought in like our kids, Ella and Vaughn, there as well, so it was very family friendly, which we really enjoyed.
that's what I was going to say. You can either do a special date night or, a full-blown family affair. And
Yeah.
it sort of caters to both of those types of occasions.
You can tell like the effort that goes into. It's not like you just opened like an Italian thing and then you're just throwing noodles out there. Like it's it's pretty. And so this is the thing, is you guys put a ton of effort into everything you do. Like your pasta, it's like you can tell like this is legit pasta. And then your breads, like you guys make them right there in the stone fire oven that you have, or is it the wood fired oven that you have there. And so like your bread is probably one of the most popular things that you guys are known for in Niagara-On-The-Lake, I'd say. Like there's not too many people that are local here that don't actually know your bread.
We have quite an entourage.
And that's the same. And the pizza crust kind of came off that as well. So it's all sourdough. I've been making sourdough. So our sourdough starter's name is Roxanne. So as a project during culinary school, you had to make a sourdough starter so you can make bread with that and sort of learn the whole sort of process. So that was 20 some odd years ago that I don't want to say gave birth to Roxanne, but gave birth to Roxanne, and I've been babysitting her, taking care of her ever since. And so it's all natural sourdough. So basically, you just feed her flour and water once a day, and she just keeps making bread for you.
So, quick question. If you were to go on vacation, do you need to have a babysitter then?
Yes. So Roxanne
She has full-time care.
Yeah.
Okay.
She has full-time care. Lucky now we have a restaurant and a fair bit of staff.
Yeah.
But she has come on vacation a couple times with us. She's been to the movies. She's been to the bar. A good friend, our friend Brett, actually forgot her at a 7-Eleven one night, and we had to go back the next morning and get her because he was too busy eating nacho cheese, and so. But she's been around.
This is great.
That is truly incredible, actually.
When I first met Ryan and everybody was saying, we need to feed Roxy. We need to feed Roxy. I couldn't figure out what Roxy was. And I thought it was a cow, like off site for the longest time. And then I realized that sourdough is a living being and has a personality and it needs to be fed and cared for. And so definitely a learning process for me with the sourdough. But yeah.
That's true love when you get into like that kind of thing. It's like, well, you know what? It comes with kids.
Yeah, it comes. Yeah. I came with kids, and Brett just kept on going.
That's good. So tell me a little bit more then about so you guys had, it was what was the name of your original restaurant there? It was
Backhouse.
Yeah. And Backhouse I thought was really cool. We would go, and like you said, we would go occasionally, right? Because it was this real cool place where you go and sit down on a nice date, and it was a special occasion thing. I remember like a couple of times we went, we sat at the same table, and you had this cool like projector doing like this, like the scenery at the one table. I don't remember if it was at like more than one table, but do you remember how like the one table had like a projector would have like the coolest background?
It was an art installation we had. We have a bunch of artists that work with us. He did a visual sort of art thing, and it was just basically like slow, like, I want to say, I guess stop motion sort of photography from around Niagara. So all the scenery were all scenes from around around Niagara. And then sometimes, so the projector now is used. We actually just put sometimes in Christmas I play my favorite movie, Christmas Vacation.
Yes. Hey, nice. Yes, it is.
But I make it in black and white, so I put it to black and white, so it looks
more classic.
So it looks like classic. It looks like a classic movie. So. Yeah. And there's no volume, but it's kind of fun. People like you watch, and you can recite every. I think I can recite every line from the movie. But
that's my favorite Christmas movie too. Now that we have kids, I got Ella, who's like a little bit more into the Grinch and Elf, which both I like watching too. But Christmas Vacation's number one for sure.
It's just a true classic.
Yeah.
People are gonna make fun of me, but mine's the Santa Claus. I don't know what it is about Tim Allen. He doesn't.
He doesn't.
But the third one, they got too carried away.
We actually, I remember discovering Backhouse. We were on a flight, and you guys made one of the top places to eat in Canada.
Yeah, it was the En Route sort of magazine, like best new restaurants, and we were sort of the people's choice best new restaurant.
Wow. Yeah, that's impressive.
Yeah, it was great, and we sort of it's sort of transformed into Ruffino's. We always had our farm growing all our vegetables from this, and so that was the beginning of Backhouse and that, and everything keeps sort of morphing as time goes on. We wanted to welcome families, and I think we had our fun with having a date night place, but it was I missed the sound of kids running around yelling and screaming, and I think that was like, and all our friends were having younger kids, and it's like, we need to give them a part of what we were growing and doing. So now we just make things a bit bigger, a bit more Italian. I was trained sort of classically French, and two of my first chefs were Italian. So I learned Italian from, when I started cooking. Yeah. So I've been doing it forever.
Yeah. Well, I find it's the same, like you can tell no matter what you guys are cooking, no matter what you're doing, that the heart and soul that goes into it. Mm-hmm. And so that was the thing that, as I started to get to know your story a little bit, and which is still like I only know like a little bit of it, it's more and more impressive what you guys do. And so one of the things that truly blew me away was that you guys live on a farm that's got 4 acres, and 4 acres of farm land, I guess. Yep. And you got chickens and just about every other like vegetable and like true farm to table, where you guys are legit farmers farming the food that goes on the table in your restaurant. I got to hear more about that. Yeah. Like, give me some details on what you guys farm and how you do it and how you find time, because it's crazy.
Well, we do have quite a lot of help with the farm. We have a full-time farm manager, and he leads 4 full-time staff with him. And it's just an incredible thing to watch. We pivoted a little bit in what we were planting from what would be a Backhouse menu to what is now a Ruffino's menu, and subsequently our second restaurant is being fed by that farm as well. So this year, in fact, we planted 2,100 tomato plants just to be able to keep up with our production of tomato sauce and everything for Ruffino. So that was definitely a different adventure for us. So Tomato Land was like an acre of our farm.
Oh, wow.
But just trying to grow and be sustainable as much as we can off of the land. certain things we don't have enough space for, obviously, with, you know, bulk potatoes and celery and onions. There's just not enough room, but everything else that we can possibly use to sustain the restaurant is our ultimate goal. And then this year was the first year we got chickens, so we have 31 right now, which is fun. So we have 3 different breeds, and they're just a little entertainment unit of its own in the backyard.
Yeah.
So, no, it's
Any issues with fox or some other animals sneaking around trying to get
we
the
used
chickens?
to have 34 chickens.
Yeah.
Lost a few.
Yeah.
We didn't find as much. Like sometimes we've had problems with deer and rabbits in the past, but this summer we didn't feel that too much. So I'm wondering if it's, you know, maybe the chickens helped. Who knows?
Yeah.
They might have been our little good luck charms.
Have you guys always lived in Niagara-On-The-Lake?
I've been here since 2004, and then I sort of moved down to become sommelier to learn about wine and food. That was always my sort of goal. So I've been here a fair bit. And you?
I grew up in Toronto, and then my high school was in St. Catharines, so I boarded at Ridley College, and that sort of introduced me to the Niagara area. And then my brother and mother remained local in Niagara-on-the-Lake, so whenever I would visit here, I just would get so bummed out because it was so beautiful that I just decided to make a move out of where I was, and that was like 6 years ago, and the rest is history.
And the rest is history.
Yeah, a recurring theme.
Yeah.
A recurring theme for some of
People
our guys.
people that come here, like once you fall in love, you can't get out. You're stuck.
Yeah, you can't shake
Right.
it.
Yeah. Speaking of falling in love, so how did you guys?
That's a good
right?
segue.
Like 2 totally different people. You came with sourdough. You came from Ridley, right? So like what happened? How'd you guys meet? What did it?
We sort of met at a restaurant, and I think Brett was making ice, and she looked through an ice cube, and then I saw her eyes, and I'm like, well, that's who it's going to be. And then that ice, I guess, was the icebreaker, you could say.
Yeah.
And then, the rest is
Little
history.
cheese ball.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was that in Niagara-on-the-Lake?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what happens around here.
That's what happens in Niagara.
Yeah.
It was kind of the best of both worlds in that my whole background was hospitality, and you know, you're one and the same, so it just kind of was a good little yin and yang match that just flourished into all the things we do now together. So, yeah.
That's awesome. So what can you guys tell us some stuff about Niagara-on-the-Lake? Because one of the things that we wanted to do here when we started this podcast is we found that, like, so our story, like, we both moved here for wrestling. We both wrestled on the national team. That's how we met. And we spent all of our time up at Brock University and then traveling all over the world training and competing. And then on weekends and stuff, we'd come for drives out here. And this was kind of like this like mystical place that we'd come to and drive around and dream about, right? Yeah. So we're 2 broke athletes just trying to
have fun. But there's so much to do down here, people. I think what I love about down in Niagara is just the camaraderie amongst us chefs and restaurateurs. I've been here 17 years, and it started off as a small community. There were some key restaurants that were in the area, but then as I kept living here and staying here and working here, you get to know them really well. We're all like great friends. We're all great friends, and I think through COVID, it sort of really showed us like who our best friends were. When COVID hit, we were on the phone with everyone every day saying, "Hey, how was your day today? Oh, we almost did $500, and we should be doing 5,000." And it was COVID really sucked, but then it brought us all together. We would just kind of chat and work, and then but we also, I think all of us knew that we also needed to help the community because some people were hit harder than us. So a bunch of us, like the Garrison House and Ravine, we all sort of worked together, and we did a whole bunch of charity things every year, and just help people, to help out the community as well. And that was a big thing for us. Is like we knew we were all suffering, and getting everybody together working together was great. It's sort of showing that, hey, we know we're all in this together. There's
Yeah, that's awesome. And that's definitely a small town thing where people band together, and that's almost like old school farming where the farmers would all kind of pitch in and help each other out, and one farmer had a good crop or bad crop or got hit harder by a storm or losing animals. You hear all these great stories from old school farmers, the way things used to be, and it's very similar in the sense where like you guys as like people with a passion for food and wine all stuck together.
Yeah, I think all of our farmer neighbors, they first made fun of us for trying to be farmers, because it isn't easy work. It isn't easy work. Yeah. And they call it idiots, something like that, you know. But it's hard. But us learning like about that and the help they gave us was amazing. Like they would come and help plow our field. They'd show us something and they'd laugh at us. We did something wrong. And then, you know, when we bought a tractor, I bought the most expensive tractor I could buy, which was a step up from a lawnmower. And so all of them call it.
They call it the lawnmower.
Lawnmower. So they make fun of me.
They're like, if you have an attachment to mow your lawn, it's a lawnmower. We're like, fine.
So we're a young farming family, and I think there's the help from them. And but so many of the new farmers now, they're young. They're next generation. Like all of our friends are basically, they take them to the family farms, and we just, you know, keep working with them as well.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, you chose pretty much the two easiest ways to make money.
Yes, for sure.
Farming
100%.
and restaurant.
Yeah.
I think if you Google it, they're pretty much guaranteed.
I think we do it for the love. We do it for the love of it, and I think that really shows. It's just like we just love cooking. We love hosting. We love having a party. We love having people and feeding people and make it. It's when someone leaves with a smile on their face. That's the best thing.
Absolutely.
And the bit of money you get in your pocket too helps. But
Yeah.
it's seeing people smile and, you know, and before give you a hug when they left. You know, COVID sort of stopped that. But it's like saying, hey, you know, thanks for feeding us. You know.
But it's this tableside stories 20 years later that, you know, people will remember, remember that dinner at Ruffino's, and, you know, grandma was there, and, you know, the kids. So just creating those stories that can transcend throughout, you know, their families and, you know, just regenerate good feelings and good memories.
Yeah, it is really cool.
Yeah.
And I've every time I've gone to Ruffino's, it seems that Stacy's there. She's not on camera, but she's here hanging out. She's a director today.
She's our agent.
Stacy is like, you know, one of the ladies of wine. Before her, it was Debbie Pratt from Inniskillen, and then Stacy sort of learned. I don't want to say learned the ropes from her, but Stacy became the woman in wine in Niagara, and if you needed to do something within the hospitality industry in Niagara, Stacy was there. Stacy was helping, and she probably has a bigger heart than we do. The amount of charity work that Stacy does and helps organize is amazing. So yeah, she's always at our restaurants, but usually we're talking about something. Okay, what's our next thing we're gonna do? How are we gonna do this? And we're meeting here, so we'll meet at the Garrison House, or we'll meet at Ruffino's, or we'll go to Ravine. And basically, yeah, she's always at our restaurants, but where she's helping us plan and, you know, what's our next big thing going to be.
Yeah.
That's what really it's all about.
That's really cool. Yeah.
All right. Well, we really want to hear what you guys would suggest as the best date night in Niagara-on-the-Lake.
I think it depends on the night, depends on the time, depends on the time of year.
Seasonal, yeah.
Seasonal, I think. Something like we love Masaki Sushi. We'll go there. We love the chefs. We know them. I can kind of speak Japanese, so I pretend to. Brett makes fun of me when I do it.
Nice.
But
He puts in the effort.
it's fun. It's a fun little spot. That's one of our little places, and
Yeah, the fish there is so fresh.
yeah, it's really good.
We do love, honestly, walking the property, picking food, and being home with the dogs and just creating, you know, a dish out of a basket that we walked on our property to find. Another great spot that we always go to, which is lovely, is definitely Ravine and their patio.
I think the pie plate for breakfast. Well, we'll always go to the pie
Definitely.
plate. We always get little small things from there.
You can go breakfast there?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What do you get?
They're a breakfast brioche sandwich. It's really good. It's damn good. I would say.
They've got a mean sausage roll, some great coffee and juices and stuff like that.
Where do you guys love going? We always like asking
Yeah, where
for
do you
that too.
guys go?
Well, lately it's been, it seems like we end up at Ruffino's or Barbea quite a bit.
I've got to say probably, like that's 90% of our...
But you know, it's funny because we like to go just about everywhere.
Yeah.
I've always liked Treadwell, but I think Treadwell is that special night out kind of thing, right? And it's been tough to get into those places, or they've been completely shut down, right? And so, but I've always liked Treadwell. And then the one place that I do really enjoy going to, more for the scenery, is the golf course.
Yeah, it's like the best view for sure.
Yeah,
it's like an awesome. Yeah,
I absolutely
Caesar at the
love it
golf
there.
course.
Caesar at the golf
is
course.
a great thing to do.
Yeah.
And so that goes back to what you said. It depends on the day and the time and
Exactly.
the season, right?
Weather.
Yeah. Because on a nice sunny day,
Beautiful.
go sit down in the patio, have a couple of drinks at the golf course. But then when it's it's a nice night out, you want to
We've been
try
to a
something
couple
different.
dates at the river bend too.
Yeah,
That's
the
been a
river-
lovely
beautiful.
space.
The new river bend now is Ross. There's the chef. He's actually, when I first came down here, Ross interviewed me way back when. So I met Ross a long time ago, before I even moved here, and so we've been friends ever since. But it's a great little place, yeah.
Beautiful scenery, just
Patio.
quaint, just a spot to get away.
We've actually never been to the River Bend.
Yeah, I don't think I have been there.
Yeah.
We'll have to put it on the list.
Yeah.
Have to make it happen.
Yeah, it's a great little spot.
Yeah, we definitely like trying new places. Well, do you know, we actually almost had Ella's baby shower at River Bend. And then it ended up being at the Charles, and I think it was.
Oh yeah, actually, a funny story. We talked about this with Stacy too, but a funny story about your pizza. We were Jesse went in.
Oh.
Yeah,
Here we go.
Jesse went into labor. We were watching Super Bowl, and we ordered pizza from you guys. And so we went to go. We're getting
But
the
this
pizza.
is the first time that we were ordering, because we honestly kept hearing how amazing your pizza was, like over and over and over again,
Yeah.
and somehow just never tried
Well,
it.
anytime we ate there, we just didn't get pizza.
Yeah.
We had
Yeah.
other things, right? And then it was like, man, we got to get the pizza. So we got it for Super Bowl, and literally kickoff happened, the ball's in the air, and Jess goes into labor. And then she's like, we got to go, right? And we're like, well, can we wait for the pizza?
No. But
Time is of the essence right
It was
now.
already
right?
ordered.
for the pizza.
There you go.
Hey, she agreed.
See their reaction. They're like,
There you go. It must be that good.
Yeah.
It wasn't
And
to
it
start
was.
the car, it's to wait for the pizza.
So we took it to the hospital with us, and it was good.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. All right. Well, and it's
First
nice.
thing baby smells is Ruffino's pizza.
yeah.
Well, it's not a bad way to come into the world, I
That
guess.
actually might be why he loves being there so much. He was so well behaved.
Pepperoni. There you go.
Yeah.
Is his middle
memories.
name Pepperoni? Maybe.
That's amazing.
Well, that's awesome. Well, you know what? That was a blast. It was awesome to talk
That
to
was
you
really
guys.
good.
Thank you guys
It's
so
just
much.
you know what?
Having
It's
us.
just like going to your restaurant. It's the same feeling. Just you guys are great. Whenever we go there, I'm envious of what you guys do. It was pretty crazy for the last little while, but I see you guys truly enjoying what you do. You're all over the place, having conversations with people. You got big smiles on your face.
Yeah, it's just making people feel like home, and that's we opened a second place called Barbea, little wine shop and sort of snack sort of bar. So it's another awesome fun place. I would love to say that's our date night place, but when we're off work, we want to be off work.
Yeah,
Yeah. Absolutely. Maybe touch a little bit more on Barbea before we end. I want you. So
Well, maybe that's another episode.
is it?
I think so.
All right. Well, stay tuned.
A different outfit, a different shawl.
A different cowhide. There we go.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much
Thank
for
you
coming.
so
that
much.
was
Thank you
awesome.
guys.
Thanks for having us.
Thank
Cheers.
you.
Thanks.
All right.
Cheers.
Cheers. Well, thank you everybody for joining us today. Couldn't do it without you. Certainly wouldn't want to.